YouTube? What's poppin'? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid, and in today's episode, the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE edition is looking to be the next follow-up to the last year's FE edition, but it might also be a Note 20 follow-up. I really don't know how to explain that, so I'll read you all the details. Also, Google has released a brand new pair of earbuds called the Pixel Bud A series, something I've already talked about. I'm going to tell you why it is a fantastic value, fantastic quality, and why you should definitely consider it if you're an Android user. And lastly, Apple's iMessage is finally getting some huge updates that puts it on par with WhatsApp, Facebook messages, but why we're not going to see this service available to Android or any third parties in the near future. All that on today's episode, so without further ado, let's get it going. So story number one, the main story, the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE edition. Now I've already talked about this phone a couple of episodes ago and a while back down the road, and I've already discussed a lot that needs to be told about this phone, but we have a little bit more information about it and why this phone is going to be yet another big sell for Samsung. And confusingly, why it's a Note 20 follow-up, I have no idea. But according to Android Central, it seems that Samsung's first quarter sales for the S21 series were disappointing, to say the least. And that's the case with most of smartphones nowadays. It's not just Samsung, it's all the smartphone manufacturers, because there's really no big need to upgrade right away. But this time around, things looked really bad. Now, it could be the fact that people just don't have that kind of money to drop, or because, again, nobody really has the need and desire. Whatever the case is, Samsung is not doing well with their flagship line. However, what was a big hit for them was the Fan Edition phones. And it seems like that trend is going to continue, as they are planning to release the S21 FE edition, but it's also called a Note 20 follow-up because it will have a stylus support. Now, how does that make sense? See, I can understand if it's a follow-up to the S20's Fan Edition, I get that. If it's a cheaper version, I can understand that. But you're including S Pen support, and you're saying that's a Note follow-up? You may as well just release the Note again at that point. See, this is what I don't understand about Samsung. You want to simplify your lineup, you want to make different options available, and yet you want to take away a phone that really was a great phone and replace it with foldables, which, even though I will admit I do like the idea, I will not lie, there's not a big demand as there was for regular smartphones right now. But now you're going to put S support on the Fan Edition phones. So let's take a look at the lineup for all Samsung phones if you're using them. The S series flagship have stylus support. The foldables are rumored to have stylus support. Now the Fan Editions will have stylus support. So I don't understand what is going to separate these models anymore, because you're just giving them the same features. You're basically doing what you did the last time with the Note series. This is how we got to this point. Now you're just backtracking. I don't understand what Samsung's game plan is. I understand if you want to add value, I understand if you want to add differentials to the lineup, but how are you going to make a Fan Edition a follow-up to a flagship smartphone called the Note 20? And best alone, how are you going to give it a stylus support? It makes absolutely no freaking sense. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad thing, but this is what caused the mess in the beginning with the Note, the S series, the foldables, then the Fan Editions. Now you're basically putting them all back in this order, except you're excluding one, but going to give every single phone the feature. Now, I'm not just focused only on the stylus pen. It's also talking about hardware and other things in the report, but I'm narrowing it down to a simplistic and personal point of view, and it's simple. You need to differentiate these devices, not on build, not on this, but based on their needs. But by giving them like flagship, specs, which is not a bad idea, but by giving them all stylus support, you really just make it feel like you should have just kept the Note series, and better yet, you probably should have. Now, I for one knew that the Note was dying, as they kind of showed they didn't care, and the S21 Ultra is really that phone that shows they want to go all in on. So I'm not upset that they're doing the Fan Edition. I'm just upset that they're really just making it so once again like they were in the past that got us to this point. I am confused, Samsung, and I really don't understand what you're doing. But you know what? I'm not here to judge that. I'm just here to give you guys the news. It's just my opinion. And honestly, Samsung, you have a lot of good moments. You have a lot of bad moments. This is not one of those bad moments, but it's definitely not one of those good moments. It's somewhere in the middle. And oh man, these phones are really getting weird every year. Alrighty, story number 2, the Google Pixel Buds A series. Now, I've already talked about these earbuds again in previous episodes, so I'm not going to sugarcoat everything, but I am going to tell you that it is one of the more affordable earbuds for Androids, and I think you should consider it. Basically, you're getting premium sound plus premium battery life, which is really not premium at all, but you're basically just getting what the Pixel Buds are, except in a cheaper build, and they come priced at $99, and they do have a few different added features that help to justify the price. Now, the A-series buds are again supposed to be the flagship earbuds for the Google Pixel devices, and of course they are supposed to be the new earbuds for any Android user, period. Now, I am not going to go into too much detail as I really have not tried any of the Pixel Bud headphones, but I have been curious for a while to check them out, and while I haven't had the time to, I will not lie, my curiosity has been scratching me to hit the trigger on purchase. So if you want to see me do a review on the Galaxy Buds and then the A-series Buds, definitely leave a like and comment because I will consider it based on your opinion. But I will say this is going to be a good seller for Google. Not just a good seller, it's going to be a great sell. For $100 you get premium earbuds. Basically that is what the competition has come to, giving you the great sound, great battery life, but in a fraction of the cost without any cutbacks of major. Now, of course, being that it does have a cheaper build, meaning the build quality is a little bit less than the regular Google Pixel Buds, it is safe to assume that you're not going to see wireless charging, and it's supposedly just going to be fast charging. So don't expect wireless charging for that, but honestly, at that price point, I don't think anybody can complain, and honestly, if it sells more Pixel Buds, it sells more Pixel Buds. And lastly, last story, WWDC update. iMessage is getting a huge update, and it is going to be now finally keeping Apple's iMessage service to a new level. Now, as you know, everybody in this world on iPhone uses iMessage. I use iMessage, my friends use iMessage, everybody uses iMessage. That's not a surprise. But for a while, everybody's been saying that iMessage needs a lot of help. Well, according to Mark Gurman, it seems that iMessage is going to get some major updates, and it is going to help make it stand out more and compete with Facebook and WhatsApp and other devices. According to Mark Gurman, there will be an option to set automatic replies to messages depending on their status. It will improve the all-around auto reply feature, which is currently available while driving. Apple has added some unique notification features, such as Do Not Disturb and Sleep Mode, but they will mark the first time the company has offered a system-wide feature for changing notifications to a user's status. On top of that, he goes again to saying the eventual goal is to have it more of a social network and better competing with Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram messages and more. Now, you're probably hearing this story and you're saying, oh, so we're gonna finally get iMessages on a computer. We're gonna get iMessages on Android. And I am here to tell you, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that the answer is no. And here's why. The reason is simple. iMessage is what makes the iPhone and makes an iOS device. Apple's not going to give away something that is so unique and feature rich to their ecosystem. They're not going to just give that away to just anybody. If you want to use iMessage, if you want to get that ecosystem feel, you have to buy an iPhone. Apple will never, I repeat, never give up iMessage to the public. The only way for you to use iMessage is if you buy an iPhone or an iPad, a Mac, an Apple Watch even. You have to be an iOS user, you have to be an Apple user to use iMessage. Now me, I would like to see that be the case because I want to see users have to buy the way, but I will not lie, it wouldn't be a bad idea to share it out to others, to get more people onto iMessage servers, but there's no denying it. That's what makes Apple. iMessage makes the ecosystem what it is, and giving that away to the public is like giving away your sales. Apple's not going to do that. So I don't expect them to do that, but I do expect them to really try to compete and make it more of a networking app where if you're an iOS user, of course, and other user, it will just be what it is like with Facebook, WhatsApp, and others. So we're going to see what WWDC brings to iMessages, and I am actually very excited for WWDC. Everyone says software is boring, and if you're one of those people that just don't like software events, and if you're just not going to be into it, then I wouldn't recommend watching WWDC, but honestly, you're probably missing out a lot that will help you out if you don't know anything about iOS 15 or other things to come. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, have a great night, and peace!